First of all, good morning to everyone. I hope you all are fine. Students, as you know, already my portion has been completed. Now from today, I will be having my revision classes. Okay. So my first chapter is related to communication. Okay.
Now listen here. Now listen. Morning, Aditya. How are you? Wait for here. Wait for some time here. Okay, wait for some time. I will unmute you. Navya, please. Navya, please say.
Now, my first chapter is method of communication. Second chapter, elements of communication cycle. And the last one, factors affecting communication. These all three chapters are of unit 1, that is communication skill. You can see, my dear. Now, what are the topics that I will be discussing in these three chapters? First one, method of communication. Next one, the importance of communication skill. Next, the communication cycle, or you can say process. Next one, the perspectives of communication. Next one, factors affecting communication. So these all chapters, yes, I'm going to discuss, my dear. As these chapters are very, very small, my dear. So that's why I have taken all these three chapters, yes, in one. Okay. Now, first of all, you have to know what is communication. Now, you can see the definition of communication. Communication is a means of sending and receiving information, an exchange of thought or ideas. Students, I was discussing about the communication. So communication is used to pass on information to influence a person or group, or sometimes just to express feeling. So here you have the emotion, you have the speaking skill, you have the listening skill, you have the writing skill. So all I'm going to discuss, my dear. Now, there are three types of communication based on media. First one is your verbal, next one is non-verbal, and the last one is visual. So as by the term verbal, non-verbal, and visual, you can understand what I mean to say. So my first part is verbal. Now, verbal communication is any mode of communication that involves words, whether written or spoken, to share information with others. If I'm talking about the verbal communication, there are two parts. First one is the oral, that means I'm speaking to you. You all are the listener and I'm the speaker. So here, which type of communication is going on? Oral communication. So oral communication come under which, media? That is verbal. And next one is written. I give the notes to you. I give assignment, notes. So these are which type of communication, my dear? Written communication. Okay. Now, what is oral communication? Oral communication includes face-to-face conversation, speech, telephonic conversation where there is no face-to-face expression, only you speak, other one, yes, listen. Yes, listeners also can be, yes, the speaker also. Video call, radio, television, etc. They all come under the oral communication. Now, the next one is your, yes. Now, next one is the advantages that you have to know. What are the advantages of oral communication? First one, it enables the sender to know whether receiver has understood or not. See, as when I am speaking, yes, you all are listening, but I have to think about you also, whether you have understood my topic or not. Next, it saves time. That means here I can give 5 minutes lecture, but when it is the written one, it takes not only 5 minutes. First of all, I have to write these all notes. Maybe it can take half an hour. Okay, so written is time taking, but here it saves our time. That means in short duration, you can have a long speech. You can deliver a lot of topics, yes, to the people, whoever, if they are the audience, you can have. Now, the next one is the disadvantages. So, what are the disadvantages of oral communication? First one get less time to think about what he or she is delivering. If suppose I have been given to have a, yes, speak, yes, or speech on oral communication, so as this topic is given to me suddenly, so here I cannot have time to speak. So whatever that comes to my mind, I will deliver to you. Okay. Now, next one, quick reaction may leads to arguments. As you are in flow, but maybe some words which you have spoken, yes, that can hurt someone. That can be a big issue. Even you have heard in news that some politicians, they have given the speech and that is not related to that one. That means it just addresses to some other community. So that is also a big problem, my dear, of oral communication. Okay. Now, the next part is my written communication. Now, the written sign or symbols are used to convey the message. The message can be printed or handwritten. It is the most common form of communication used in business. Yes, examples already I have given, that is faxes, emails, reports, SMS, etc. Okay, so here in written communication, you have a time to think, okay, and you understood that what to write it, you can have in a flow, yes, to write those all messages, yes, on the paper or directly on the screen, my dear, and later on you can print it and you can share this information either in the form of soft copy or in the form of hard copy to your friends, yes, or to whom you want to, yes, give these notes. Okay, it is up to you, my dear. If I'm talking about the soft copy, it can be the pen drive, it can be the emails. Okay, so there are a lot of mediums through which you can send, yes, this type of soft copy to your friends. Okay, next one that I talked about, the hard copy. If you want to share these notes to 5 people, then 5 copies you can take out via the printer and you can share, yes, with all 5 friends. Now, here you have the advantage and disadvantages. First one, it gives enough time to sender to frame the message. That means you are getting time. First you think and then you can write it. Next, the messages can be edited and revised before it is published. Yes, as you have written, but you think that some words or some sentences that I have written that has to be edited or has to be removed. Yes, that also in our facility you have. And once you are sure that now it is the final, now you can share it. Now, the next one, records can be maintained. Simple example, email. When anyone sends mails to you, you have the record or not? You have the record. Even sender also, yes, has the record, because that gets stuck where? Suppose I'm sending the mail, it will be in the sent one, but when you will receive the message, it will be in the inbox. Now, this advantage is, it doesn't bring instant feedback. Yes, obviously, when you send your mail, directly you get the reply. No, first it has to be read, yes, by the receiver, and then feedback will come to you. Next one, it takes more time composing a written message. Yes, obviously, first you have to think, you have to write, and now after writing, you cannot say that yes, it is the final one. You have to read, you have to edit it, you have to format it, and after that, once you think that no, now my data, whatever I have written, that is already completed successfully, then now you can do it, whether you have to send it or whether you have to print it. It is up to you, my dear. Now the next form that I am going to discuss, that is your non-verbal communication. So when I'm talking about the non-verbal communication, then here your oral, that is oral and written, will not exist, my dear. Here your spoken language, which includes gestures, you can see in the definition, my dear, which includes gesture, facial expression, and body language that may affect any encounter between people. Like you have elocution. Yes, in your diary, elocution, you have debate. So there, what you do when you have this activity in your calendar and you have to address to the audience, I'm talking about the elocution. At that time, you get points for your facial expression, your body language, how you stand, how you react. Okay, so that comes under the non-verbal communication. Okay, now the last one is visual communication, where you cannot speak. Okay, you cannot address to someone, only by the by the sign. Yes, by the logo you can understand it. You know, some when you are crossing the road, there you have the sign. Okay, even when you are driving the car, yes, you have the traffic light. Yes, no one is speaking. Yes, stop, move. No one is saying. You have to understand by that color, that this color says red, stop, green, to move. So here, this is your sign by which you can understand, yes, that what the act you have to do on the spot. Now, it involves the visual display of information such as a photo, yes, formats, signs, code, symbols, and design. Like I'm talking about the QR code. Yes, barcode. What are these? This has information, but they are not speaking that I'm the manufacturer name. My, yes, the product cost is this one. No, it has information hidden inside it. So that all comes under the visual communication. Okay. Now,
Excuse me, sir. Hello, everyone.
wait. Now, my next part is elements of communication cycle. Okay. Now, you can see what is communication cycle. Communication is an essential part of any society. A society cannot exist unless the people who form a part of it are able to effectively communicate with each other. Therefore, the communication cycle starts with the sender, who gets the communication going and is complete only when the sender receives a response or feedback from the message. You see, what are the elements that are involved in the communication cycle? You can see, my dear. First one is the sender. Next one is the idea by the sender. Idea here, it means photo to be sent, text to be sent, audio to be sent, video, whatever. Next one is encoding, that is security. Channel, what is the medium? Yes, that your message to be reached at the receiver. Next one is decoding, that means unreadable code to be converted into readable code. And the last one is the receiver. So one by one I'm going to discuss each and every one. So you can see these are your, yes, elements of communication cycle. Now first one is the sender. It refers to a party or agent, my dear, who sends the intended message to another party or agent. Sender is also referred, my dear, as a source in the process of communication, because your cycle starts from where? From the sender. So that's why senders sometimes behave like source and your receiver destination. Okay, one by one I will discuss. Now the next one is idea or message. Students, it refers to the subject matter, okay, that the sender wishes to convey to the receiver. Now what the subject, it is totally depends on the sender. Just now I said it can be the text, it can be the table, it can be the chart, pictures, or whatever. It totally depends on the sender, which type of message he or she is sending, yes, to the receiver, my dear. Now the next one is encoding. Yes, it refers to a process that puts the thought, yes, in a framework of symbols or words, and that must be in the form of ciphertext. I have already discussed about the ciphertext. Okay, that means converting your readable code into unreadable code. Okay, that means if in between, if anyone, yes, traps your message, yes, at that time he or she, that means hacker or crackers, will not be able to identify that symbol, text, whatever that is sent by you. Now, the next one is the communication cycle. Yes, it refers to the channel responsible for the delivery of the message. Yes, like example, you can say a post office, internet, that are the examples. Okay, here when I'm saying in offline way, then post office, and when I'm saying online, the internet, the best example is email. Now the next part is the receiver. So what is the receiver? It refers to the party, agent, yes, who receives the sent message. The receiver is sometimes called as what? Destination, you can say, or you can say the audience. Okay, I'm not talking that this one as my email. If suppose I'm delivering any speech, at that time you all will be the audience, my dear, and I will be what? The speaker. You will be the listener and I will be speaker. If I will be speaker, then I will be the sender, and if you are the listener, you will be the receiver, my dear. Clear? Now the last one, no, next one is the decoding. Okay, but see, I have written here, just it should be before, it should be before. Okay, because decoding must be, because it is the ciphertext, and if directly it will be sent directly to the receiver, he cannot be able to understand it. So first of all, you have to know the decoding. Yes, it refers to the process of deciphering. That one is ciphering, this one is deciphering the received message and understanding its intended meaning, yes, whatever the meaning that you want, yes, or you have given, yes, to the receiver, he can understand it. And the meaning that can be in the form of anything, that whatever the sender has sent it. But whenever sender is sending anything to the receiver, he or she must think, yes, whether my receiver will be able to understand or not. If suppose I know English, Hindi, I can communicate with you. But when you will communicate with me in Chinese language, I can understand. No, sorry, I cannot understand. So you must have to think about the receiver also. Okay. Now, the last one is your feedback. Yes, it refers to the response of the receiver to the message of the sender. You know, it happens. You know, earlier when we were sending the postcard, we use the acknowledgement also. So that when it will be received by the receiver, that acknowledgement will come to me so that I can know that my postcard or my envelope has been received by the, yes, receiver. Same way here also, you know, when you are sending also, their message comes, yes, message sent successfully, yes, you become happy. Why? Because my message has already been delivered. Yes, my receiver can now read the message. Okay. Now, okay, now, yes, now the next topic is factors affecting communication. Okay. Now here you see, communication is a two-way process. Why? I will say you. And its success depends upon a cordial and conducive attitude, as well as, yes, receptivity, yes, for all parties involved. That is your sender. And if the sender is going to send this message to the multiple one, that all will be the receiver one. So, however simple and straightforward it seems to be, the process of communication and its success can be easily affected by many factors. So that all are factors I'm going to explain, my dear. First one is the language. Okay. The process of communication may be affected if the participants have language barrier. Like just now I said, I know English, I know Hindi, but you are not able to understand this language because you have come from China. Then you know only Chinese language. So if I will speak, can you understand? No, never, because you are not aware, or you have not read such a languages. So here this is the barrier. Okay. So yes, I'm talking about the barrier, such as if they speak and understand different languages or have some kind of speech difficulties. So at that time, your language will be of no use. Okay. So for the success of the communication cycle, my dear, the sender should ensure that the message reaches, yes, the receiver in a language what he or she can understand it. That's why I say, whenever you are going to have a message or going to have a lecture, first of all, you must have to think whether my receiver will be able to understand it or not. Otherwise, there will be no use of such lecture. Okay, the next one is past experience. Yes, a very important part, because the experience we have or had before in some specific conditions or specific situations may also affect the outcome of the communication. If it is held in the same type of situation and environment. Like I'm giving one example, you know, sometimes, yes, I'm talking about the offline one, you know, in traditional way of teaching. Okay. If suppose I discuss any topic and you have not understood, first time you ask, I explain again. Again you ask, same thing, sir, please explain it. Yes, I will explain. But third time when you will ask, I will scold you. Now, you see here, here the main situation comes. Okay. So, yes, I'm giving. That means if your teacher scolded you when you ask her to explain the topic again, what will be the result of the experience? You never ask to explain anything. Never you will raise the question, because you know that if I will raise, then maybe teacher will scold me. So this is the main problem, my dear. Okay. Now, the next one is the visual perception. Yes, what is a visual perception? Okay, the visual perceptions refers to the brain's ability, yes, to make sense of what the eyes see, organize and interprets one's environment. Listen, my dear, depending on their fixed notions, social status, etc. Yes, that different peoples may views and interpret the same thing in different ways, because you know everyone thinking is totally different. What I think, maybe you cannot think in the same way. I have given one example by which you can understand it. Okay, you know, you have some reasoning question also, you know. Yes, sometimes this type of question asked, yes, maybe, yes, you think in the positive way, someone thinks that one in the negative way. It happens. I'm giving one example. You see, it is given there. You see, you can see this is example, my dear, you can understand it. You see, if, yes, you can see this example. Now you see, my dear, yes, if I'm talking, yes, about the line you see on the screen, my dear, yes, if I'm talking about the line A and B, I will ask you which one is longer. Which one is longer, A and B? See, someone will think from inside. Here. That means inside way. Oh, sorry. Wait. Yes, someone will think this one in inside way. Oh, this one. And someone will think from outside. Okay, here your answer will differ. But as you see both the lines are same length. If I'm talking about the A 5 centimeter, then B also is 5 centimeter. But someone will think in this way and someone will think in this way. Here the answer varies. Now, I have already discussed these all topics, whatever it was in my agenda, my dear, and you have understood these all topics. Thank